thank you. Thank you, Skype, for reminding me once again to let people know I am recording them.
By the way, we're recording.
Yep, avoid legal snags by telling people they're recording. Thank you, Skype. Thank you. All right. So, welcome to the Numusick podcast. This is your two regular jackoffs from upstate New York. My name is Patrick.
Hey, Kyle, we're ready. Let's get it.
Yeah. Good old
I'm
Kyle.
fucking
All right.
dead, dude. I'm fucking dead.
Well, I'm hyped. I'm ecstatic.
I'm hyped, but work is killing me, bruh. I'm sorry.
We have with us a very talented artist that I am very excited to talk about. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Cameron from Opulent Construct. Guitarist.
Stoked to have you here.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in the band, and how the band started.
Well, been playing guitar for, I guess, maybe like 14 years, I guess. Nothing too technical. I've always written music by myself, like in my bedroom and stuff. And then been in a couple bands here and there in Lubbock. But Lubbock's not very good with, I guess, I don't know. People kind of suck. I'll go ahead and say that. So bands eventually break up. So I just started making music on my own, and I met Tristan at a bar. And, we worked at the same bar. And I think it was 2014. Started jamming in the garage, and then he had to move to Dallas. So I was like, damn. All right. Well, he's from Dallas. So he had to go back. And so I'm kind of like stuck here again, trying to make music. It's all I want to do, working at fucking restaurants and shit. And then I was like, you know what? It's been about 3 years. Been working on this music. Let's do it. Let's release it. And Tristan's like, all right, fine. Let's do it. So got it mixed and mastered, spent, a lot of money on it, put it out, promoted it. Not really well. So that's where we're at, really, is promoting is our biggest issue right now, I guess. And we don't have a full band also.
So I take it you guys haven't performed live yet?
We have had one show, and it was November 15th. We opened for Rings of Saturn.
Tell me a little bit about that. What was that like?
Okay, so I got a message randomly about a month and a half earlier, and guy was like, "Hey, you guys free to open for Rings of Saturn?" And I'm like, there wasn't any part of me that was like, no, I wasn't gonna say no to that. And
the answer was yes before the question was even finished.
Yeah, it was like, let's go, hell yes, please. So I messaged Tristan. I'm like, yo, man, you got to do this. And he's like, okay, but how are we gonna do this shit? We don't even have a full band. And so I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And he's like, all right. And I told the guy, I was like, it's only two of us, man. We only have vocals and guitar. We're probably going to run everything through a laptop and an interface. And he's like, all right, cool. Bands do it all the time. Might as well. So
it is true. This is a very regular thing.
And so I was like, okay, fine. So I flew to Dallas, practiced a couple times with Tristan, flew back. And this is the only thing I'm thinking about for about a month until it happens. We finally drive up there, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. I've never played live before. And I'm not even using a click track. Everything's going through an interface and a laptop. And I'm like, damn, is this really going to happen? And it went pretty well. There was its kinks, I wouldn't say anything on my end. I think the second song, I busted the strap on my guitar. So I was like, oh, great. So I had to sit on one knee and play the second song.
I've done that. I know that struggle. That is not fun.
It wasn't cool. Not for my first show. I was like, damn, are you serious? And
it's like I'm kneeling. I'm kneeling for him.
I'm still into it, though. I still love it.
Just give it to me, Daddy.
Hell yeah. That was nice. Got off stage, and there was a couple people that were like, yo, you guys obviously need like a drummer, right? And we're like, yeah, and bassist and all that. So we got a couple people talking, but nothing, set in stone yet. Haven't practiced with anybody. Nobody's like come forth and been like, let's do it. But obviously we're open to any kind of.
So if anybody's listening and is in the Dallas area, Texas, or just in Texas in general, hopefully close to you,
Yeah.
Just in general.
Not on the complete opposite side of the state. Hit them up, Opulent Construct. I did want to ask how the name came together because I have to be
I'm
honest,
glad somebody
I have no
said
idea.
it because I don't even know. I didn't even want to try to pronounce it.
I have no idea what it means. So I'm sure people hearing it are just as curious as I am.
Okay, so that's a good question. I guess when I was ready to release music, I was like, well, fuck, I need a name. So I think I was just scrolling through Facebook one day, and there was this really weird picture of this. It looked like I think it was like a bathroom, but it was like over like a cliff or some shit. I don't know. It was like a weird. Okay, yeah, And then people were like, describe it in one word, and there was the word opulent. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? So I go and I look it up and was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Okay, it's like lavish or elegant or, just really well made. So I was like, okay, well, I guess everything in the universe would be an opulent construct, beautiful or destructive. Doesn't matter how you see it. It's constructed beautifully, in a way, like how we even physicists are like, how the fuck does this shit work, at the quantum level? So it's like, we don't understand it. So I was like, you know what, that'll be it. And I had a notebook that I was just like opulent observer, opulent and just going through different names and
going through different names, drawing different logos, trying to make something cool. Trying to make something cool.
Hell yeah.
That reminds us of that reminds me of us, Pat. Yeah. Going through fucking names.
Yo, at the beginning when we were trying to name the podcast, before it was just me and Kyle, we had a third co-host, Matt, and so him and I were just spitballing ideas back and forth until Kyle just comes out of left field and's like, New Music Podcast. I'm like, oh.
It was so fun. My drunk ass eating a fucking pizza. Fucking New Music Podcast?
Why not?
There was definitely a slur. There was a hard slur.
I'm like 100% sure it was a slur.
Me and Matt look at each other like, what did he just say? Say it again.
Say it again. What?
So are you guys like into nu metal because of the NU?
I mean, yes and no.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, lately there's been a lot of discussion about both rap and metal on the show, and so not to discourage listeners, yeah, we are into nu metal, but it is interesting that lately we have had a lot to say about about metal and about the rap industry. So
yeah,
I guess there is something to be said about that.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically, what it is. Basically, I had a stroke. But basically, what I thought about the name of the podcast was, I mean, we're going over new music, and we're obviously interviewing artists and up and coming bands and shit. I was like, you know what? Let's just put new instead of new metal and just put music in front of it. And there we go. And put new in front of music, but spell it differently. Literally.
Yeah, that's perfect. So let's see here. How did the conversation come up between you and Tristan about starting the band, and how that kind of came to be?
All right, so for the longest time, I guess up until I would say maybe what year is it? 2019? Yeah. So the end of 2018. Had to get that right for a second. The end of
No, I feel you, man.
It's almost 2020. You're fine.
Yeah, right. Almost there. Fucking, I think the end of 2018. I was trying to do vocals on my own, and I'm not a vocalist. Like I've been practicing for a couple years, but I'm nowhere near as good as I think I am, I guess. And then so Tristan's pretty good at vocals, so I was like, you know what, man, we've been talking about doing music forever, and we always talk about it. We're like, well, it'd be cool to do this, it'd be cool to do that, and let's try this, or do a project like this. But I was like, I'm Opulent Construct. It's just me. That was my project. And then but then I was like, dude, just fuck it, man. Come on, just do vocals for me. Let's be, we started it way back when. Might as well just start it now and keep it going. So he did the vocals for all the songs. None of that's me. It's all him. And had to get it sent off, and the waiting to get the mixes back was so anxiety, like, God damn,
Yeah.
I hope, I hope this sounds good. And releasing it was even more like nerve-wracking, because I was like, dude, are people gonna like this? Does it sound good? Is it heavy enough? Like, so I don't even know what genre we're really in. So
That's
I honestly
actually
don't.
a good question, because I had that geared up in the back of my head. I was like, so what was the intention behind the album when writing it? Like, were you expecting it to go this direction? Because if you look at the logo, honestly, it reminds me a lot of the Arcspire logo. So typically I
Yeah.
associate that with tech death. So I
Yeah.
was wondering if that was the direction that was in mind, and so on and so forth.
I'm definitely not a technical player, but I aspire to be technical as hell. Like, my favorite guitarist right now is Lucas Mann. He's already got his own controversy about all that right now, so I won't even get into that. But
Oh, we already did.
We already went into that.
I think we did that
Believe
last
it.
episode, right? 27?
Yeah, it was the last episode.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Arcspire got their logo made by maybe the same guy I got my logo made by. Some kid in Indonesia makes these badass logos, and that's who I went through. I want to say it's the same guy. I mean, if it's not Arcspire, I think it's another band called the Zenith Passage, and which is funny because I have a song called The Fall of Zenith or whatever.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
But
that is honestly my favorite song off the album, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was the first one to get written for the EP. That was the very first one, and it went through at least 40 revisions. I don't know how many times I had to get that song perfect. I went through so many different, okay, put this here, put that there. And so, yeah, I wanted to get, super technical, crazy solos and shit, but obviously that doesn't happen in the album. It's just like, more like melodies, I guess. That's what everybody likes to say. But yeah, writing the songs was like, took a long time, because I started them in like 2014, 2015 when Tristan moved away, and then they just slowly started evolving, and I got better recording techniques, better equipment. And I was like, okay, this sounds pretty good. And then I want to say Phantom probably got the craziest change, because if I were to show anybody the demo of that song, it's like kind of like a black metal song, kind of like, it's weird. It's like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So it definitely changed, and it's kind of funny because now we're working on a song now, and it's got this black metal part in it. So I'm like, fuck it, came back. So we're excited to release that pretty soon. Just need the vocals on that. That'll be good to go.
That's right, listeners. There is new music on the horizon.
Right.
So we have that going on.
No for sure date, but it's coming.
So who writes the lyrics?
Tristan writes the lyrics. I guess I kind of have a say in what he writes, but mostly, well, we've kind of been through kind of the same things in life, so it kind of works out. If he's been through a bad relationship, I'm like, okay, well, I've been through the same shit, so let's use that. And he's a really big Coheed and Cambria fan, so like, he kind of tries to tell a story a little bit, I would say.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing, is for our next album, maybe a full length, hopefully, I wanted to have like some sort of concept like that. You know what I mean? Like a story that's connected to the EP before, maybe a callback or something. Because I love the shit that Coheed and Cambria does. Like, albums later, you'll hear something from 2 albums ago, and you're like, was that a revised part? Like, what the fuck? So, hell yeah.
No, that. Honestly, I'm really into that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I definitely want to go over the album or the EP real quick. I think it's called. It's spelled Gaia.
Gaia.
Gaia. Okay, I didn't want to destroy that fucking name, but yeah, it had no lyrics whatsoever on it. It was just instrumental, and I was like, at first I was like, listen through the album front to back, and I'm like, all right, and then all suddenly it just goes to like that. It's a definite different transition. It's definitely a transition into something different, and I'm like, okay, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for a breakdown or something, because this is what this album, it's heavy. So I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for this fucking breakdown, or I'm waiting for a big ass scream or a fucking harsh vocal. And I didn't get it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm vibing to it. But it's such a good transition. And then the next song, and I can't remember what the fucking song is. What was it?
Anchor.
Anchor. That is my favorite song on the whole album by far.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite
Kristen's
song
for sure.
Oh my god, it was
I could
such a
tell there
good
was a lot of
transition.
like emotional quality to the lyrics on that song in particular.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
Kristen's favorite song. He told me, he's like, Anchors is no problem for me to record. I sing that song every day on the way to work. I'm like, all right, well, fuck yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
Gaia actually got written. I was like 16 years old, and so that's like 10 years ago. I was in my room and I wrote it all on Guitar Pro, and just was like, okay, this would be way cooler as an instrumental electronic thing. So I like imported everything through MIDI and like got on FL Studio and did some reverbs and replaced all the instruments, and I came out with this track. And I remember I still play it to this day. My mom's like, turn that shit up. She's like, my mom loves that song. It's her absolute favorite. She's like, hell yeah, dude. And so we started off our show with that song, and then we started off with Anchors. But I could tell, like, it's a 2.5 minute song, and it's just, kind of chill. Yeah, everyone's just kind of like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, that definitely sounds like a concert start, like right there. And then just go into the transition. Like,
right
that's
as Anchors
perfect.
Starts, the lights go on, and then
oh yeah, just fucking big ass
by
guttural.
the way, we're playing.
Yeah, by the way, exactly. This is our band, real quick.
Right.
This is the set.
Oh,
it's like, oh, I want everybody to be chill, and then as soon as Anchor starts up, fucking kill somebody.
That's pretty much the vibe. Yeah. Hell yeah. That's the vibe we go for, I guess. Or we're going for.
I got to admit, there are parts, like, there's like 3 specific parts in it, and I will select them all out that I just want to clip out and make a trap beat out of. Not even gonna lie. I totally want to do that. That's just something that I've been fucking with lately, so it's always on my mind. But
we might get with it. We'll never know. We're trying to get into some rap ourselves. We never know. You might see an Opulent Construct rap song one day, or a trap metal song or something. We're
that is
not
interesting.
Opposed to anything, so.
Is it safe to say that had some serious Rings from Saturn inspiration? Because there's one song in particular off of, I can't even fucking remember what it's called. The one album that the Gaia and that song really remind me of.
Well, I wouldn't say yes, because I was 16 when I wrote Gaia, and was like, I don't think Rings of Saturn was around then, so I wouldn't say yes to that. But
I think it's The Heavens Have Fallen.
Oh yeah.
Because I have that Lugal and Kai CD in my car, so yeah,
that's probably my favorite album from them for sure.
Samesies. Yeah. Fucking samesies.
Hell yeah.
Not to say that the new album isn't good. It just didn't hit me as good as Lugal and Kai did.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Lugal has natural selection. There's this one solo in that song, and it's the solo that makes the song. And I have tried that's why I'm like, well, how does he fucking play this shit? Because it seems like, and I'm not technical, like I said. So when it comes to me learning something new, I'm like, nah, there's no way. I kind of give up real fast. I'm like, fuck this, but go back to playing how I used to play. But so,
well, in the defense that he put out against, the accusations Jared Dines had sent to him, he has this 40-minute video where he explains how he plays the certain parts, and he actually explains that, like, that little piece that hangs over the end of the guitar allows him to do hammer-ons and just constantly without needing to strum and so on and so forth. So I really think that just might be the one piece of information you need to know how to do certain solos.
I believe it for sure.
But I'm definitely not a guitarist.
Oh, well, there's a solo, and I guess it's a solo, but it's on Mind Machine, the last song, and it's like, it's all tapping. And I don't have a strap or anything like he has, so I got dreads, so I got like hair ties, and I just kind of tied them around, kind of make it tight enough on my 8 string. That way I was able to tap it right. It still sounds like shit to me every time I listen to it, even though it's on the recording. I'm like, that's the best I could get it. But
So you're
whatever.
saying you tied your hair
No.
around?
I have hair ties for my dread. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I was
so-
literally gonna be like, that is the most innovative thing I have ever heard of.
Yeah,
If
no,
you
hell
had
no.
tied your
Maybe-
hair around your
shit.
guitar to make it sound a certain way.
That'd be
Maybe
fucking dope.
try for the next album. You never know.
Oh man. Well, if it does happen, you heard it here first, motherfuckers.
Right? Hell
You
yeah.
heard it here first. Oh man.
That's hilarious.
So what are some of the aspirations going forward with the band? Obviously, you're trying to develop the full lineup and write. So is it safe to say that you're in writing mode right now?
I think. Well, we have a show next Saturday in Dallas. It's at the same place, Gas Monkey. Not trying to plug my shit or anything, but
Oh no, plug your shit. We
Plug
don't
your
care.
shit. That's why you're here, man.
28, one night only. Well, anyway, so we're getting ready for that, and we're not booked for anything else. There's some shows coming up in Lubbock, and I would love to do a show here in Lubbock just because it's my hometown. Got it, and I know people will come because I know a lot of people here, and so that'd be cool to do, especially family. Family will come out, but so for now, it's probably just after the new year, it's gonna be serious writing mode, and we're probably gonna go for a full length. We have one song, like I said before, and we'll probably get that mixed and mastered pretty soon after the vocals are done, and hopefully drop it at the beginning of the year. And we need to get better at promoting, so that's a big thing right now for us too. So that's where we're at, and getting merch because
Merch is tough.
merch is important.
Yeah.
Merch is very tough. That's
Mhm.
something that we've had on the back end that we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
And getting
We've
pricing
been-
and everything,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Especially pricing wise, because like we said in our
We don't
intro,
make
we're
shit
just
off
two
the
regular.
podcast.
We don't make anything.
That's
But if you guys want to help us,
Yeah. Exactly.
But
let's
no,
low key slide that
yeah,
Patreon
let's
link
low-
in there.
Yeah.
All right, my bank.
But, yeah, but literally, like we've had actually we have ideas for merch. We do, but
I mean, we've got like
it's
two or
just
three ideas, but
it's
Yeah.
just more of money. Because like we
Mhm.
said in the intro, we're two regular jackoffs. Like
Right.
we don't make a lot of fucking money, okay?
Yeah, that's me and Tristan for sure.
Yeah.
And you
So-
got bills and shit, and then
Oh my god.
something comes up, and you're like, oh my god, like, would 10,000 people just buy my album, please? Like,
right now.
you know how big of a deal that number is today? Like people don't buy that many, not that many
Exactly.
people buy records now. So it's a really tough the industry climate is really, really cutthroat at this time right now, where
Yeah.
it should the argument is that it should be more like, we're in this scene together because metal has such a hard time getting out.
Yeah,
And so-
seriously.
Yeah.
I'm curious how you got started playing music. What was the kind of like, I guess, the album that got you, or even just like the artist that got you inspired to start playing?
Okay, so I got a guitar for my 12th birthday. I was into Korn heavily. Korn is like my all-time favorite band, except for one album, and I think we all know what album that is. But I was really into them.
I'm not a Corn fan, so I'm not a Corn fan. I'm just gonna straight up be honest with you. I'm not a Corn fan.
I believe it.
Except
That's
for-
totally fine. So,
Except for one song called Daddy. That's the only song I absolutely enjoy.
that's a great album. That's
I
a good album.
fucking love
Isn't
it.
that the Follow the Leader album? I might be
That's their
mistaken.
first album. I think it's their first album. I was really into Korn. That's just because like my uncle would give me CDs like here's System of a Down, here's Static X, here's Rob Zombie, and then he handed me Issues one time, and
Oh boy,
Falling
you're
Away.
speaking Kyle's language now.
I love Issues so much. I love
Falling Away
Issues.
for me probably through I listened to that song probably night and day. I had
Wait,
CD
which one?
play Falling Away for me.
Oh,
It's like the second song on that album, and I had CD players in elementary school all the time, and I would fucking break them all the time, just drop them. And so I had gone through so many CD players, just wearing out this fucking CD. And so finally, my mom buys me a fucking guitar for my 12th birthday. It's like a first act Toys R Us guitar, you know. It's like something to get me started, you know.
Yeah.
You didn't know, but it's okay. So, and I wanted to
No,
play.
mommy, I want a Schecter.
Yeah, what Ibanez, mom? What the fuck? So,
Gives
so
you a
anyway,
pink guitar.
yeah, right.
Like, here you go, sweetie.
I'd still have it to this day, probably. I probably would never get rid of it. So anyway, yeah, I got that guitar, and I never took any lessons. Like, I never fucking did any, like, I didn't get a computer till I was like 16 years old. I'm not even that old. We just didn't get a computer till like I was fucking 16. It was weird. And so like, no. And I was like 14. But anyway, that's important because I started looking at tabs, and all of Korn's music's on 7 strings, and I have this little 6-string first act that we, with like a little practice amp. I can't really do shit.
Yeah.
So, then I got really heavy into Deftones. I don't know what happened. I think it was probably the Around the Fur album that I listened to and was like, holy shit, this is amazing. So I was able to find tabs for a 6-string guitar. I could tune my shit to drop C or drop D, whatever that album's in, and I just learned every single song, at least almost every single song, and just kept playing those all the time. So Deftones taught me how to play guitar, basically, because I never took lessons. And even Stephen Carpenter from the Deftones himself, he's like, he had an interview a long time ago, and he's like, I couldn't tell you what a fucking chord or a scale is. And I'm like, that sounds like me. Shit. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? So I'm a diehard Korn and Deftones fan for a long time. And then, so I was really biased towards anybody else's opinion on fucking music. Like, you got to listen to Slipknot. Fuck that shit, man. Like, even though I love Slipknot, like, I came around eventually.
Fucking Slipknot, dude.
So anyway, I fucking come around, and I remember, I don't know what it was. I got into high school, and I think somebody showed me Job for a Cowboy, and I was like, I kind of like fell in love with that shit. That first Doom EP, I think it's the EP. Yeah.
I've had the Doom EP in my CD player for the past 3 weeks, practicing vocals to it.
Yeah.
trying so hard to get my squeals back. I had them at one point, but I haven't had them in a while, so I've been practicing that. It's funny you bring that up to me.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, it changed me for a little bit. I was like, wow, music. I didn't know music could be so heavy. I don't know. I was like so in my own little world about.
And at that time, how old were you?
Freshman year, I was probably 14, 15, I think. So 16 was when I got into like really like recording my own music on a little piece of shit interface or whatever. I don't even remember what I had. But yeah, that was probably the Doom EP, and I think one of Meshuggah's. I don't think Bleed was out yet, or Obscene or whatever. But I think the Nothing album from Meshuggah. Once I heard that, I was like, okay, I gotta try to fucking be heavy, man. Like, cause this shit is awesome. Yeah. So after that, I was just sworn into doing music, and now my taste for music has totally expanded to I'll listen to anything except country music or something. But so I'll listen to pretty much anything now. Doesn't matter. So if it's got a good beat and it bangs, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down.
Oh man. That's
I was
awesome.
actually gonna ask you what's a genre that you won't listen to, and there you go. I got my answer. Fucking country. I got my
well, maybe no, okay. So you give me a couple shots of tequila and I'm fine with a little bit of country.
All right.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I would say like
I know that. Honestly, growing up as a country boy for a little bit, yeah, I can listen to some old country like Garth Brooks and shit like that. But no,
What?
I get you. I get it. I get it. Especially when I'm drinking beer, I can listen to old country 100%. I could.
I also
Not gonna
dated a
lie.
white chick for like 3 years, and she was heavy into country, and I was like, I don't think I can do this all the time. She supported me for a little bit with my music, but didn't last very long. So glad I don't have to listen to that shit anymore.
The only time I have to listen to country is when I go over to my grandparents, which isn't very often. So.
Oh hell yeah! It's probably still good country though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the good fucking country that they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the good fucking country, not like this
Not
other
the
shit.
ignorant new shit that's
Yeah,
coming out.
exactly.
But as anyone who has been listening to the show knows, we're still waiting for the right country artist to come through that will
Facts.
really wow us. I'm sure it'll happen one
Who
day,
knows?
but it
It
has
might
not
be
happened
fun.
yet.
Who knows? It might be Neil, Pat. It might be Neil. You never know.
Neil is pretty damn close at this point.
Yeah, I know.
He's basically living the fucking country lifestyle.
I
Yeah,
heard a couple of
seriously.
years ago, Jonathan Davis was going to put out a fucking country album, and I was like, no fucking way.
Do it.
Well, same
I
with,
won't believe it until I
yeah.
see it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's the same
I
with,
heard something
Danny.
about that. That could have been bullshit, but
Yeah,
I would have
it's the
loved
same
to have heard.
with Danny. Same with Danny Worsnop.
Well, Danny
Oh,
Worsnop
yeah.
actually did put out a country
Well, yeah,
album.
he
And
did.
That's right.
Now here's the thing.
You know,
Danny
it's not
Worsnop,
bad. It's not
it's not
bad.
terrible, but
Not
like,
terrible.
I was just surprised by the fact that he could do country.
Yeah.
I had
That's
a
what
feeling
wowed
that he
me.
could. I had a
Pretty
feeling that
good.
he could. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a feeling. But all right. So anyway, back to you. What genre you absolutely cannot listen to? Absolutely cannot.
I get turned off pretty quick by a lot of EDM music, and I don't know why.
Oh.
Not like maybe see, because when it gets to that genre, it like branches out just like metal music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That is totally true.
so there's just some of it that I'm like, I don't understand why people really like this shit. And then like a lot of DJs and shit, not to bash on any DJs or anything, but they're so big and all they have is like a laptop and they go up there and they have these huge festivals, and I'm like, why isn't the metal community this fucking awesome? Like, and I'm sure it is. Like, there's big bands now, but the biggest shows I see are like Rammstein having a huge show with all these fucking pyrotechnics and shit. Not that I'm saying like every band needs that shit, but it's like, you know, I don't know. It's a lot of EDM turns me off, and I don't know why. But that, like I said, I don't know what EDM I'm talking about. I'd have to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
EDM is just as big of an umbrella as rock. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's really tough sometimes with that. And the one genre in particular that turns off just about everybody that listens to this podcast really is dubstep, because dubstep
All right,
at
listen
times
here. Listen here.
No.
I love
I had a
dubstep.
dubstep.
Okay?
I love dubstep, but some dubstep really can rub you the wrong way.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If it sounds like you threw
genre
a
of
wrench
music-
in a blender and that's the like hook, then what are you doing?
Honestly, my favorite dubstep DJ is Gator, Getter,
Getter.
He's
Yeah,
pretty
I've
dope.
heard of him.
He's pretty dope. But
I used to like Datsik until he had that whole allegation thing, and yeah.
See, I
Wasn't
didn't
cool
really know
anymore.
about that.
yeah, I didn't know about that either.
I was really into Datsik and Excision. Those were like my two go-tos for dubstep.
Yeah.
Like Excision has a Shambhala mix that's an hour and a half. I think it was like 2017 or anything. I could listen to that one from front to back. It was an hour and a half long, but for some
Yeah.
reason that one mix I could listen to from front to back and still appreciate it.
I was hooked on his 2011 mix. I remember because that was when I had my phase of dubstep from like my senior year of high school, and like a year after, I was like, "What is this shit?" It was just like
Yeah.
totally new to me, and it was blown up. I was super into Skrillex, believe it or not. Like I
Mhm.
would just listen to Skrillex all fucking
Right.
day. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So that leads me to wonder, what are your thoughts on the Korn and Skrillex duo or remixes that they kind of did?
So you remember earlier when I was like, except that one album?
Is that the album?
That is the album.
That is the album?
That song that he does with Skrillex, I think the two singles from that album that always got played on the radio that year, I liked one of them, And then the rest of the album just honestly sounds like Jonathan Davis is like he's like 10 feet away from the microphone and he's like trying to fit in to this dubstep song. I'm like, where's the rest of the fucking band? Where's Fieldy? Like, what the fuck? It was weird. It's super
Was this
retarded.
the point where Fieldy wasn't even in the band? Because I know that there was a point where that was going on.
I think that was Head.
Yeah,
but he's
probably.
back now. I remember Fieldy couldn't go on a tour, and the guy from Mudvayne, Ryan, well, I can't remember his last name, Ryan something. He played bass for them, and I was like, damn, I kind of want to hear what that sounds like, just because I love Mudvayne's bass player, super insane.
Yeah.
But he didn't bring the Berber dings, so I'm a
He
little
didn't bring
disappointed.
Ding,
There was no
ding,
Berber
ding,
ding.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, that whole dubstep album was, I don't know what they were thinking, and I feel like they kind of started it, and they're like, well, we've already fucking
we already started it.
We might as well fucking finish it, and it was stupid.
It's like they got a realization of what the fuck they were doing halfway through it, and they're like, "Well, we gotta fucking finish it now."
Okay,
well, I listened to an interview
Jonathan
with.
Davis doesn't sound he even gives a shit through half the songs. You know how Korn, he's always pissed off and emotional.
Oh yeah, facts.
And then here he's like like he doesn't give a shit. He's just talking. It sounds like like it's just kind of weird. I don't know.
It's funny because when you listen to him talk about it in an interview, I think it was with Lead Singer Syndrome, the guy from Silverstein. He was talking about how Sonny Moore and Jonathan Davis met, and how honestly Sonny Moore is just like a really excitable guy. He's almost borderline ADD with his sound, or just in general. That's just his personality. And so when he met Jonathan Davis, he was explaining like he was ecstatic to even be meeting him and showing him all this cool stuff. So the impression that I got was that Sonny Moore was more excited about the music process than Jonathan Davis was. Jonathan Davis just kind of saw it as, oh, you want to do a lot of writing for me so I don't have to write this whole thing? Fuck it. Why not?
Damn.
That's how I took it, but I could be wrong.
Skrillex is only like 2 songs, I think. So they brought in like a lot of DJs, like I think Excision and Datsick and Downlink. I think the only song that I really like off that album has like doesn't have any of them. It's 12th Planet, I think. I think that's the name of that DJ. I don't know, but that one's actually kind of heavy and it sounds decent, and it kind of mixes that dubstep. Okay, I guess. Because I've always wondered, could you mix the two? Like, would it work? And Korn kind of proved that I don't think you can. Well, I mean, you could, but they did not do it right. They didn't do it right.
So
you got to do it right.
To the question of what do you think of bands like the Browning, Above, Below, and things like that kind of like ride that fine line?
I haven't heard too much of the Browning, not their newer shit. I remember their older stuff. I mean, I couldn't tell you what a song was, but one of my buddies used to jam them all the time, and I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. There's another band, fucking Enter Shikari.
Enter Shikari literally created electronic core. You have to pay homage to that.
I fucking love them, dude. They're awesome.
Gotta respect them.
Have you guys heard of Horse the Band?
Yo, fucking the guys from Party Can brought them up. No, never mind. I'm sorry. They were talking about a band called Horse Bastard.
Yes.
That's what it was, not Horse the Band. No,
So,
we definitely aren't familiar with that.
Probably one of his biggest influences. They just recently made a comeback, I think. But they're super like that super electronic, kind of like that what is it? Like that MySpace Nintendo core shit. You know what I mean?
I still fuck with that. But I just wrote a couple Nintendo Core songs.
That's probably like a horrible comparison, because that's kind of like, because I don't listen to them too much like he does, but that's probably a really bad comparison. But from the songs that I've heard, I'm like, damn, this shit is pretty dope. And there's another fucking band, but I cannot remember the name. But they're also in that same kind of electronic metal music kind of.
I See Stars and shit.
Oh, I saw them live. I didn't think it was too bad. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I thought they were nice. I liked them.
What I like is that they actually decided to drop their most successful album as instrumental. So now I can kind of enjoy the music. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I don't know.
That's probably why.
I don't remember what it's called. I just know it's on one of my instrumental playlists.
Oh yeah, I can't fucking remember either, and I
Yeah.
see it right in front of me too.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. That's
Oh,
like the
man.
worst part. But yeah, the Browning's electronic shit is fucking lit.
Hell yeah.
If there was a song I could recommend to get somebody into the
Carnage.
Browning, honestly, Carnage. It's Carnage. It's even got I Am Jake Hill on it, which is really fucking
Which
cool.
Jake Hill is our man, okay?
Jake Hill is our man. That's an
Oh my
absolute
God.
fact.
We love Jake Hill.
Hell yeah. Carnage by the Browning. I will listen to it on the way to work for sure.
And if you like emo rap, look up Jake Hill. Jake Hill's fucking lit. He's fucking
Jake Hill,
awesome.
you're talking about Josh A, right?
Josh A,
his-
Jake Hill.
Yeah, those two are basically synonymous with one
Yeah.
another. They write songs together all the time.
Yeah.
I wanna enter some gear slut territory here. What kind of guitars are you playing? What kind of gear are you running?
Okay, so
Totally changing it up.
it's fine. Yeah. So back when I told you my mom bought me that little first stat guitar from when I was 12. So I played that thing until I was, I want to say 16, 17 maybe. Yeah, I know. And so I finally was like, I had enough money. I was like, go to the store, find myself a guitar. And it was kind of a cheap Ibanez, but I got I think it's right there. Yeah, that black one right there.
There you
And,
go. There you go.
Hell yeah. So it's 6-string, just bought it just to have it, a cooler guitar, I guess. So I do I think all my guitars are Ibanez. Yeah. Yeah. I got 1-6, I got a 7, and I got an 8. And I also got a bass that I don't play. I don't even know why I have it.
I mean, you can just donate it to me, but
Hey, if you want to join the band, what's up, man?
Fuck. Damn it, I'm driving all the way to Texas. Damn.
Hey, bands do it. I didn't know so many bands were like spread out throughout the country a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
Rings of Saturn is kind of like that. I was like,
Rings of
damn.
Saturn is kind of like that. That was interesting when we talked to Andrew Patterson about that.
Oh yeah.
Because he lives in Texas and the rest of the band is basically Michigan based.
Yeah.
Damn. I can't believe that.
I don't know how bands make it work because my
Me
first, well,
It's
not my
gotta
first
be-
real band, my last real band, Dead on Sight, we were like that. We had 2 members in Phoenix because I lived in Phoenix, Arizona for a while. We had 2 members that were in Nevada, in Vegas, and we had 2 members that were in Denver, Colorado. Somehow we wrote a 6-song EP. Don't ask me how it got done. It got done though.
Hell yeah.
It's
the music, man. If you really want it to work,
Oh
you can
yeah.
make it work.
that's a fucking fact.
Yeah. So back to my gear. I feel like I didn't finish
Go
that
for it.
question. Because this is kind of important with explaining my first show. So I didn't have an amp or a fucking cab, and they asked us to play this show, and so I'm like, okay. So I go and I ordered this fucking. It was a Boss Katana off Guitar Center. I
Mhm.
ordered it 3 times, maybe 2 times, because it kept getting canceled. Like they would take my money out and then put it back in my account the next day. And I needed it for this show. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And so I called them finally like the 3rd time, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't carry this anymore. Like it's discontinued. And I'm like, why do you keep charging me for it and telling me it's on the way? Like, I don't know. So I had to go all over Lubbock looking for a cheap amp. It wasn't cheap by any means. I got a Black Star. And then I got a Marshall cab. So I was like, okay. And I don't know anything about them, to be honest. Like I couldn't tell you the specs of them. I just grabbed them, picked them up with the money that I had. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll be in Dallas in 2 days. Hopefully I can figure out how all this shit works. So I figured that out, I guess.
Honestly, like you picked 2 good companies to go with because
Yeah.
Marshall and Black Star both have that professional sound that
Yeah.
most bands in this genre are going for.
It definitely looked cool as fuck in the videos when I watched them back. I was like, damn, that shit looks professional. So yeah, pretty much for recording though, I just use like Focusrite interfaces. I just recently got into bias effects, so I'm really digging that, like all the simulations and stuff. But now I don't know if it's better to mic up an amp or to go interface. That's where I'm at right now, and I don't know where I want to go. for the?
Well, what I've been doing lately, and I know this probably rubs certain guitarists the wrong way, but I've bought a couple of realistic guitar VSTs. The one that I just bought was the Cabal 8. I also have the Shreddage, the free one, of course, because I'm a cheapskate. And it was Black Friday. The only reason I have the Cabal 8 right now is because it was Black Friday and it was $20.
And it sounds dirty, by the way.
It sounds fucking dirty. Anybody listening who doesn't want to actually play their guitars and wants to write it through the computer like I do, get the fucking Cabal 8. Get the whole suite because I went with the essentials because I'm a fucking cheapskate. It sounds great, but you're missing out on a lot of features if you go the essentials route without getting the deluxe. I know a lot of people are really into the Odin, and the Odin sounds great, but you also have to have a really good setup for amps and impulses when it comes to getting the distortion and the tone the way you want it. So you have to go through like JST or STL for your tones, which if you're already down the producer route makes sense, which is I'm almost there pretty much. And I discovered the nuclear bass guitar through the guy we just interviewed, Jared from Heliocentric. He sent me the information for that, and honestly, the nuclear bass guitar is beautiful, powerful, and sometimes I have to take my headphones off the second I start playing it because it scares the shit out of me. It's fucking dirty. It is. Yep. That is Impact Studios. They have a couple of different and we're not getting paid for this, by the way. I really think that this should be mentioned. We're not getting paid for this. I just love all these programs.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the Impact Studio bass guitars are really fucking dirty. But there are a lot of samples. It's like 5 gigabytes worth of sampling.
Damn.
So you know that they took the time to make sure it's quality.
Hell yeah. I use Loki bass. It's decent. I like it. I like the Loki bass.
The Loki bass is great, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. But it's just I'm not a bass player, and so I've tried to play bass. Like when I first tracked the EP, I did it with a real bass guitar, and I would go back when I went back to listen to all of them and like to do all the DI so I could set it to my guy. I was listening to that bass and was like, "There's no fucking way I'm sending that shit." Like it sounded like shit. I was like, "Damn, I'm not a bass player." Like holy shit. So I had to MIDI all that shit, and the guy used like so all the bass and the drums on the EP are
obviously MIDI.
Yeah, MIDI and shit. So I was fine with that. I mean, we didn't have a drummer. I don't know how to play drums. It's fine. Bands do it all the time. So
there are bands that have drummers and they still rely on the programs. It's not out of the ordinary at all. But it's funny now that drummers are looking at guitarists and going, "How does it feel to be replaced now?"
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
hell yeah. So, is that a thing? Like, bands are using like
a lot of bands are using like. I mean,
here's what I know about that.
I'm talking about the
Kemper. If you get a Kemper, and you have all these programs, you can just send it all to the Kemper, and you can choose whatever tone you're going for.
Right.
A lot, like, interestingly enough, the people that are going the emo rap route with acoustic guitars are doing that because certain songs have different acoustic guitars that they're using.
Yeah.
Right.
And so on and so forth. Like even Rings of Saturn uses a Kemper. They don't have real cabs at all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I was listening to something like that, and I went into a Josh A playlist, and I'm sitting there, and the beat sounded great, and I'm like, oh, this is nice with an acoustic guitar, and I'm like, oh, this sounds nice, and then I heard some
Save Our Souls has that.
And then I heard some fucking retard the straight auto tune. It was just fucking terrible. I was like, all right, that killed it. And I fucking immediately switched the songs. I was like, all right, this killed it.
Damn.
I don't remember what episode we talked about auto-tune in the music industry, but there is an episode where that was our topic of the week.
Yeah.
That reminds me of fucking Lil Wayne when he put out his rock album, and it was that song Prom Queen or whatever. And you can clearly, maybe it's not that song, but there's a song on that album. I don't know why I was listening. I was going through it because I was a metalhead, so I was like, I gotta see what Lil Wayne's putting out. And one of those songs, it's literally the basic version of Easy Drummer and I knew it because I was using it at the time, and I was like, that's literally like just you open up Easy Drummer, and they just made a beat. They didn't change anything. It's just solid Easy Drummer. I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. That I mean, obviously the song. That whole album wasn't that great, and he tried to go on this whole I can play guitar thing for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was like, wow, how is he? And you hear the girls in the crowd screaming, and I'm like, how?
You know what's funny is that he might even, for all we know, he might have the same level of playability as like Danzig, because Danzig doesn't play that well for shit, but Danzig knows how to like put 3 chords into one song and make it a fucking hit.
Yeah.
For all we know.
Like Meshuggah's solos, when they play them live, it's like sounds totally random, and it's like, but it sounds cool as fuck. Like you'll never be like, that Meshuggah solo sucked, because I mean, even if it sounds like complete shit, whatever he's doing with that, what I think it's like I don't know, it's not a pitch shifter. I forget what it's called, but he's got some sort of fucking tone for his solos, and it's fucking insane. I don't know. I love bands that kind of do that. They have that own signature sound and you'll be like, oh, that's Meshuggah, or that's fucking the Contortionist, and
plays first note, automatically knows.
Facts.
Yeah,
facts.
That's what I'm going for, I guess. And I hope to have that one day, my own signature sound.
Boom! Yeah. You're gonna hear it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So. Let's see here. What else do we have to ask about, Kyle? Because some of the questions that I had in mind are questions that are only really good to talk to the vocalist for especially when it comes to like lyrical content and stuff to that effect.
There's always next time.
Hey, when that album drops, we'll do a follow-up.
Fuck yeah.
I would love to. Absolutely. I the worst part is I had a bunch of questions and my ass is like, you know what? We're just gonna wing it.
That's literally us every interview, though, Kyle.
I mean,
like, you know what? We have
wrong.
questions, but we don't write them down. We're not professional. We're not made for radio. We're just like, well, let's just fucking do it.
Fuck it. Some of the best podcasts are like that.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, from listening to a lot of different podcasts, that's how we knew that we could make this work.
I've always wanted to do a podcast myself, and you guys are working at it, man. It's fucking dope.
Thank you.
Got the mic and everything.
I do. This is my baby.
Yeah, right he does. I mean, I do, but I don't have a. I tried to get it to work so bad, and I can't remember what fucking interview we were doing.
When you get your laptop, that's when we'll be able to get a professional sound out of you. But right now, your headset's doing a really good job. It's doing a lot better than back in the day when you were recording just straight from the microphone on your phone. So,
yeah,
those were the days, man. If you listened to those episodes and you still listen now, you're the real MVP. You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
That's just like with artists, they put, like somebody releases like a real janky, horrible fucking sounding EP and people love it, and then like years later they're like got that professional sound and they're fucking made it. But some people don't like that. Like I remember Bill Hart had just put out a song and everybody was kind of bashing on the mix, like saying it sounded too professional, or and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's new Bill Hart, man. Like,
I think that's one of the things that Kyle and I have talked about that is wrong with the metal industry, is that it's very, very stuck up at times, especially because would you say that they're along the gent kind of route?
I would say they're gent for sure, but then there's those people that are like, it's fall,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay, tomato.
Same shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting because not that it fucking matters what genre you fall into. Seriously. You're still metal. You're still a fucking metal band. Yeah. You're still a black sheep in the music industry as a whole.
Yeah.
So do you however the fuck you want, and it doesn't fucking matter. But
Yeah.
what's funny is that you have those people who are just like, no, gent needs to sound this way. But then you've also got your slam fans who are like, if it doesn't sound like shit, I'm not listening to it. And it's the same way with like black
That is a
metal
thing.
and shit
I
like
didn't
that.
really notice that. Damn.
It is a thing. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's
It's like
crazy.
fucking yeah. Especially
Why
like
did-
the really, really sub genres like fucking noisecore and fucking cyber grind or something like that. If it doesn't sound like shit, it's not fucking that genre. Like,
Disfiguring the Goddess just put out an album today, and
it came out today. Oh
and
fuck! I know what I'm
it's-
doing after this.
It sounds super slammy, not slammy, but the mix. It has like a kind of like a slam mix. I haven't listened to all of it either, but I was like, damn, fuck yeah, new Disfiguring the Goddess, no way. And
I knew it was coming out soon. I just didn't know it was gonna hit today.
well, I
Fuck.
was looking it
Merry
up,
Christmas.
and it's not on Google or anything. It's just on Spotify. I can't find it on Google or anything. I was like, damn, fuck it, all right, that'll work.
I'm literally
Fuck it.
setting up my Spotify right now to play that after this.
Hell
Not
yeah.
even fucking kidding. Oh fuck! No, don't play music. Don't play music. Okay, there we go. We're good.
no, don't do it, don't do it.
Crisis averted. Crisis averted. We don't want to leak it and then somehow get slammed with copyright.
Right. Oh
Um,
man.
Fucking immediately.
Right.
Immediately, just like the first couple episodes we did. So, I wanted to talk inspiration because it seems to me that like you're the multi-instrumentalist of the band because you do most of the instrumentals. Does Tristan have any input as far as how instrumentals go, or is he primarily just the vocal person?
I will say for the EP, he just did vocals. But when we first started, it was me and Tristan here in Lubbock, and his cousin was our drummer, and he could fucking still be our drummer if he's listening, man, you motherfucker, like he could still be our fucking drummer, dude. But anyway, so he has a drum set. He just won't fucking play it. I'm like, dude. So me and Tristan were guitar players together. We didn't have a vocalist. It was drums and me and Tristan. And he got me into really back into playing guitar because I was in a relationship for like 5 fucking years. We broke up, and I'm like at home, like all pissed off. I haven't played guitar. I haven't really been into music. And he's like, dude, fuck all that shit, man. Come over. Like, let's do something. So he really got me back into playing guitar again. And so I would say he kind of inspired me a little bit with his playing because he's more of a technical. He's into like that old school Villa Maya, and there's a fucking other band I had on the tip of my tongue, but he's really technical. I would say he's a better guitarist than me, but I try to aspire to be a different kind of. I want to be different than everybody, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I can't like suck. Like I have to be good, and like impress people with shit. But so yeah, whenever I had the first set of the songs.
All right, I don't mean to cut you off, but I need to take a quick break. Pat Daddy's got to take a piss.
Ooh.
So you're gonna hear a message from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Oh, we even got him in on it. Didn't even have to tell him. I love it.
Exactly. Woo! All right, he's gonna be a new member.
Right. We're definitely bringing you back now that that's happened. So,
yeah, I'm down.
So let's finish what we were talking about before because I was in such a frenzy trying to find somewhere to piss. The last thing I heard was a potential drummer.
Really?
Drummer, or no, a guitar player who was just as good, if not better. Than that's what it was. Sorry.
Tristan's pretty. I would say he's pretty good. Like technically, I would say he's technically better than me. Like just because I don't know, he's more inspired by more technical bands, and that's totally fine. So I think what I was saying before we had the break was when I had like the songs first written, like they weren't done, they weren't even near where they are now. They're just because they went through so many revisions. And I would ask Tristan, like, man, I'm having trouble. Like, I don't know what this should sound like. I don't know I don't know where to go from here on this part, or what should I do to make this, even heavier or cooler or something. And he's like, well, he would listen to it and he'd be like, oh, well, try this. Fucking listen to this band and listen to this band and see. Because, like, I was, I guess, going in that direction of, and it reminded him of some band. And he would show me some things and I'd be like, okay, all right. So I would say he definitely had some influence in the way the songs sound now, because they did sound different. Not that I don't think they sucked or anything, because those parts are still going to get used. I don't know how many fucking songs like that I could make like out of just those pieces that I took out and left behind, and they're still there waiting to get used. So I'm excited for that.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Already have the new album written. It's just arranging it.
and well, not written, I wouldn't say, but I would say that it's definitely gonna help to be able to look back and be like, okay, I remember what this used to sound like, and now I know what I would want it to sound like. I don't know, some weird shit.
No, I completely understand that.
Hell yeah.
Like, I don't even write. I'm just a vocalist, okay? I'm just a dumbass that can do harsh vocals, okay? And or clean. So
hold on, Kyle. It's regular vocals.
Oh yeah,
it's regular vocals.
All right, chill out.
You know I'm never gonna let you live that down.
I know,
ever.
And I'm gonna feel like I felt like a piece of shit when I said that.
Damn.
It was just funny the way he said it. That's all.
Oh my god, I don't know why I said that though.
Dude, I'm still laughing about it. Nobody was offended.
I hope not. God damn.
I'm sure people were more offended by half of the other things that we've had to say, and not that.
Yeah, that's probably a fact. I'm pretty sure they like heard me say that and they're like, fucking idiot, and then continue to fucking go.
This fucking guy and his fucking laugh. So oh shit, I wonder what the fact counter's at right now. So with that joke,
I almost spit out my beer. Fuck you.
One of my last questions for this really is what was the main inspiration or the main goal behind the last EP? Or at least in terms of like how it was supposed to sound, in terms of like who inspired it, and what was the direction that you were going for?
I would say the Contortionists, probably their Exoplanet CD. That album is probably the biggest inspiration to me as a musician anyway. Like, just that album I can listen to that album start to finish twice, 3 times. I don't give a shit. It's fucking good. So, I mean, and that's honestly, Tristan showed me the Contortionists. He was like, hey, check this band out. And like, we were able to, how you hear a band, your buddy shows you a band, and you can sit there and talk about like, oh, that's fucking sick. I like that solo. Yeah. What are you doing right there? Like, you just sit there and we talk about it forever. And that's what I love about our relationship, is that we can talk so in depth about music. And that's why I think that it worked. Like, just being able to get together and write this EP and put it out there. Like, I was like, man, fuck it. Like, we do music. We know music. We're fucking happy. We can do this. Like,
hold my fucking beer, bro. We got this.
Literally how this podcast got started, right there. That's the same fucking story. It's just like, let's just
we got beer. Yeah, well, let's just fuck. We got beer. We know what we're doing. Yeah. We got microphones. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Fuck it, man. Like, if you have a
what
dream,
could go wrong?
Here, I think you can pull off anything, and a lot of bands prove that shit. And what gets me is like these little emo rappers, man, just getting big out of nowhere, and like,
it's
like,
and you know what? I'm not hating on it either.
No, I'm not hating on it either.
Me either.
Fuck yeah.
Some of them aren't even that big where they should be huge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Oh my god! Like,
they don't even give a shit. That's what it is. They don't give a fuck. They're just like, whatever. Like, put this out, SoundCloud, and they get everybody in their school to listen to it, and then it's damn. I don't know. Oh well.
I'm curious to hear what you would think of this. All right, so I just found out the other day, and I can't wait to talk about this when we record the episode after the interview.
I was actually about to say something before you even said anything. Like, I don't
Luke Griffin. Luke Griffin is in the trap metal game.
Oh yeah.
from Ukraine. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's happened. I remember, and I'm gonna bring this up again if you haven't heard the episode or whichever one comes out first. I haven't decided yet.
I was just about to say, whichever one comes out, I'm gonna say.
I don't even know which one's gonna come out first. I don't know yet. We'll see. But dude, I'm telling you right now, like I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, Luke Griffin posted in the Pig Squeals and Breakdowns Facebook group, "Hey, can anybody here make spooky trap beats? I want to get in on this." And here we are, finally, we're getting some of it.
What? That's crazy. I'm in that group. I feel like I remember that. That's kind of weird.
Oh my fucking god, we're all in this fucking group, bro. I fucking love it.
That's awesome.
Me and Patrick are pretty trolly on that.
Lately, I haven't been trolling that group. I've been letting Zella take over, and I just occasionally I throw my fucking meme in there.
Zella is fucking lit, dude.
Speaking of Zella, if you are listening to this, which I know his real name is Alex, we're gonna get him on the show at some point. One of these days, I'm gonna actually just fucking message that guy. But, oh man,
I was thinking about the fucking Tom McDonald. I think that's the name.
Tom McDonald.
Yeah, something like that. Like the guy with the. We didn't enjoy him. We didn't like him at all.
I still don't.
His new song, I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's pretty fucking lit, and he calls out a lot of fucking rappers in the matter of like the whole song. It's called "I Hate Hip Hop," but whichever one comes out, whichever it's either the interview or the episode comes out first, check it out. Okay, I don't know which one came first, but you're probably gonna hear this bitch twice. Check it out.
So what do you guys think about Volumes kicking out there? Or I guess, yeah.
We haven't opened up. I haven't even opened up the article. I was waiting till the podcast to open up the article and read about it.
Shit.
Generally, what we do is we give our authentic reaction to what's going on the podcast.
Especially this topic of the day, which I'm fucking hyped about. I mean,
well, if you're listening now, you already we're just gonna right out
fuck
and
it.
tell you.
Let's just say Eminem and Nick Cannon feud. I cannot wait to fucking talk about this fucking topic. I cannot fucking wait. I cannot wait.
Well, is it really a feud? That's what I want to know.
That's the question. That's the question right there. Because right now it's just Nick Cannon throwing a bunch of heat.
Yeah.
His songs
basically.
Are weak.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You need five fucking battle rappers to fucking to be on your track where you don't even rap. When you only have one verse, and two, if you look in the fucking videos, they forget all their fucking lyrics in the fucking video.
And 12 choruses.
And
12 choruses.
God, yo.
Don't forget them 12 choruses.
Oh my god, them 12 choruses. Oh, Jesus. Fucking R.I.P.
Yeah, there is a shit ton of choruses in that song. I forgot about that. Damn. Yeah, it was trash, man. Eminem, all he has to do is come out with like.
He doesn't even have to.
A full song.
He doesn't
even have to.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't have to.
He could honestly just post a video saying, like, with the title saying, Eminem responds to Nick Cannon, and it could just be him looking at the camera like this.
That'd be it. And he won.
And that'd be it.
Like, really?
That's all he needs to do.
Yeah, seriously.
You think I don't have better things to do with my time right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's dropping an album pretty soon, like the end of this month. I heard Eminem's coming out with a new album, so he may be doing that. He doesn't give a shit about Nick Cannon. Like, dude, I don't give a fuck.
And who knows? It might be on the album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Fuck.
Bonus CD or bonus track. Hell yeah.
Fuck. More on that as it develops.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's see here. We're getting pretty close to our time limit. So this begs the question of, is there anything that you want to plug right now before we send them off to go listen to your music?
I got a show. We, Opulent Construct, have a show next Saturday, December 28th, Gas Monkey, Dallas, Texas. Our EP, Soon They Will Surface, is on Spotify, Bandcamp,
YouTube.
We have a Patreon. We don't promote it, but if you want to donate, we're here for it. So
Or
you know
just
it.
buy the CD,
Or
buy the
buy
merch.
CD, please. Also,
Please.
Support the band.
Also,
Support the
physical
band.
copies will be out hopefully the beginning of next year. We don't have physical copies yet, but I'm trying to get that going. Hopefully by
Hence
March.
the Patreon. Hence the Patreon,
and
boys.
Bandcamp.
Boys and girls. So, what else to plug? I'm blanking fucking hardcore right now.
Patrick.
Kyle, take over.
Patrick.
We're losing him.
We're losing. Call 911. So yes, go follow the Facebook. You already know this shit. Follow the Facebook. Follow the Instagram. We just hit 1,400 followers, guys.
Fuck yeah.
So we're fucking killing it, and it keeps going up. Keep fucking following us. Just do it. Listen
And
to
why haven't you told your friends that
exactly
we are your favorite podcast? Because what else are you got to do? You're
have
sitting here listening to us.
Daddy issues. Like, come on.
You're sitting here
Alcoholic
listening
daddy
to two alcoholics. What else you got to do? Come on.
issues.
There's a share button right there on Spotify. Press that share
Doesn't get
button.
better
Tell
than
all
that.
your fucking friends. So,
Tell, buddy.
yep. Thanks again. Honestly, it was a great time
Seriously.
having you on the show. Like I said
Absolutely.
on the
It's fun.
break, I didn't even realize an hour went by. That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. My first
so-
podcast. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you
We
on, man.
popped that cherry, Pat.
Yes.
I dig it.
Thanks again for listening. Tune in. We've got more interviews on the way. Just not going to tell you who it is just yet. Yeah.
Yeah, Pat, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Nah. Got to build that suspense, boy. All right. Tune in next time. We got more shit on the horizon. And if you are just now hearing this, Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Christmas Mahana Kwanzaa. Hail Satan. Gotta give one up for my boy Satan. All right. Later, guys.
Later.